Hello, hockey and basketball fans. My name is David. I thought I would start this video at just before 6:30 on the evening of Thursday, 4th of May, 2023, North American Eastern Time. Puck drop in Game 2 of the Panthers-Leafs 2023 playoff series is likely under an hour away as of the time of the recording of this video. Last game was a rough one. While the Leafs did manage to score a couple goals, power play laid a goose egg. Penalty kill was very good. No goal allowed. But it's about getting goals from in close on Panthers main goalie Bobrovsky without actually getting to the level where it rises to goaltender interference. So ideally within a meter or so of his crease, or right at the edge. Getting those shots in very, very close is what the Leafs have to do. After all, it's been this many games in a row of this many goals or fewer. That has to change if the Leafs are going to score. I go back to an episode early in February, on the day after Eastern Time, the Leafs had lost to the Bruins 5-2. And a claim made by Justin Bourne, co-host of the daytime via Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Real Kipper and Bourne Show, claiming to having wanted to know if any forward outside, or any player on the Leafs roster, if not within the Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander quartet, was, quote, going to score, unquote, if not any member within that quartet. Well, there were not enough who did. And the last 3 games, Nylander has gone pointless. I did my own digging on Twitter via the NHL Stats website about the lack of point production throughout the lineup of the last 3 games. The record for the Leafs during those 3 games is 1-2. Of course, keep in mind that that overtime losses are treated the same as regulation losses in the postseason. There are no points in playoff game. There are no points awarded for wins in playoff games or losses, whatever. Yes, the NHL Stats website does put up points for teams, but I think that it's just better to do is winning percentages. And it's 1 out of 3, which is a 33.3 winning percentage. The last 3 games for the Leafs, no, because the lack of point production is clear. Of course, that's not to say the Leafs should just copy the Oilers' putrid defense from last night. Far from it. Putrid defense did the Oilers in against Golden Knights. It's like, whether it's, Mark Spector of Sportsnet, or from the TSN side, Craig Button, Dave Poulin, or Ryan Rishaug, the last person, based in Edmonton and basically an Oilers analyst for TSN. It's the same thing. Putrid defense cost the Oilers against the Golden Knights. Yes, Draisaitl put up this many goals, responsible for and those were the only goals the Oilers scored. And the Oilers, of course, are going to need to get some scoring from different sources if they're going to win a series, likely. But it's about defense first and foremost. The Oilers were undisciplined, and the penalties, I believe they allowed 2 goals against their own PK. It's not good. There's also what the Oilers did, and, well, yeah. power play did work. The Oilers did score, 2 goals on the man advantage, which was important. Yes, the Oilers can't rely on the PP to always get going for them, but they need to take any opportunity they can get, because as the series with the Golden Knights goes on, there may not be as many opportunities. And this is why I feel very strongly that, again, Leafs did rely on even strength scoring, but they relied too much on it. So the power play has to convert when it gets a chance. And Leafs still need to, need to continue to work to draw penalties. Drawing penalties is important. It's an important strategy of winning games. Getting that speed up so that other teams take notice, and the players on those teams, have a hard time trying to keep up with speed. Hard time keeping up with speed. You have trips, hooks, holds, interference. A lot of them are minors. There's even the odd high sticking one. But again, high sticking is a very dumb penalty to take. But again, it is what it is. But the Leafs have to also be careful. The Oilers were down 5-4 with under 2 minutes to go in regulation. And then there was like a too many men penalty that just kind of torpedoed quite a bit of the Oilers' momentum. Would have been 6-on-4. 6-on-5. 6-on-5 with Stuart Skinner pulled, and yes, that proved to be, rather costly. So again, quicker line, smooth, consistently smooth line changes are important. That was though, even if the line change in question had gone more smoothly than it did, the Oilers wouldn't have necessarily won that game. Allowing this many goals before factoring empty net ones, but there was only one, is not good. It's been a problem throughout the postseason for the Oilers. Think of only this many games where the Oilers have allowed under this many goals. Again, so the Oilers have until Saturday Eastern Time to work on their issues, and in terms of where the Oilers are going to win that second game, I'd like to believe they will, but they have to prove that they have learned from those mistakes that they made. Turnovers, and Stuart Skinner, the starter for that first game in that conference semifinal, having allowed this many ugly goals out of this many goals. If that's not called being a sieve, I don't know what is. I'm not sure what's up with Stuart Skinner, but he has to play a lot better. Not that he was the only cause of the Oilers' 6-4 loss to the Golden Knights. Indeed, Ilya Samsonov for the Leafs will have to play a lot better. He did, after all, allow this many goals, which was the number of goals Leafs did allow, no empty netters, and ended up allowing this many ugly goals. It's what I define as ugly. It's shot that a goalie should have stopped. They know that even an average goalie should have stopped. And to me, what happens if Leafs don't win the second game of this conference semifinal? Well, it's going to be hard, to say the least. Not impossible. After all, the Blackhawks in a 1995 playoff series with the Leafs went down 2-0 at the United Center, with the Leafs losing Game 3 and 4 at Maple Leaf Gardens, then the home arena of the Toronto team, before losing Game 5, winning Game 6 in overtime, and losing Game 7. It is doable, but I'm not going to bet on it. Leafs need to use home ice advantage to their advantage, at the very least, to tie this series up. Anything less, And I'll have to have, then serious questions we'll have to ask of just what it is going to take for the Leafs to win a playoff game beyond whatever opening round series in which, after the 2004 Stanley Cup playoffs, they've ever played. It's going to be legit because, no win of a playoff series, no win of even a game outside of a first round series, it's not going to work. Serious questions have to be asked. If the Leafs end up being swept by the Panthers or end up losing in fewer than 6 games, then that is also questions that have to be asked. But it's still too early to that. The series is not over, but the Leafs had better make sure that it isn't effectively over as the Jets did against the Oilers during a 2021 North Division semifinal, where the Jets went into Edmonton, winning 2 games there before coming home to win 2 games there and sweep the Oilers in that series. So again, with respect to Canadian hockey teams, there's also the Adult Men's World game coming up in less than 2 weeks' time. So let's see what happens. And on that note, I'm going to say, with the Jets out of the Stanley Cup playoffs, when I used to say go Jets go, to say go Oilers go Leafs go, and go Canada go. And before I leave, so if you like the video, I encourage you to click the like on it. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to do so. Doing either is optional, although subscribing will mean more timely notification from YouTube of my post of a video. I do try to post videos at least every other week, and I'm going to get down to watching that game between the Leafs and Panthers. And yes, go Leafs go.